and today we're gonna do a little bit of a conversation as to how much money Thailand costs, how much money you should bring if you plan to go there to visit, how much money you should plan to bring if you go there to live. And as always, guys, it takes a little bit of time for people to start popping up into the chat, so feel free to fast forward this if you're watching this in the future from now. But anyways, guys, I woke up really late today, trying to wake up earlier, and basically just trying to get things done. I really miss being in Thailand as of lately. I really wish I was somewhere else right now. I'm not really enjoying being where I am, but you know what? It's the current situation. It's not going to be forever, so this is kind of how it goes sometimes, you know? Okay, we're dealing with some charge issues too here. My phone's pretty low, but it looks like it's okay. I'll be back in a second, guys. I think I'm gonna eat an orange, guys. Eat an orange. Some of these oranges aren't looking too hot. I think I got one here. Ooh, this one, I don't know if this one looks so good. Man, these oranges, all of them are pretty bad, in pretty bad shape. I need to get some, okay, I think this one's good. All right, we found one. All right, gotta need an orange here. Oh, I gotta get a napkin. Oranges are messy. Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome to the chat. We're gonna be talking about the cost of Thailand very soon here, when maybe some more people pop in. My sleep schedule is pretty messed up right now. I'm gonna try to go to bed earlier tonight. So I don't know how long I'll be doing the live stream for. My sleep schedule is really bad, and it's, you know, it's not good. But we're gonna fix it. I went to the gas station today and I paid $7 for a cookie and a milk. I thought that was pretty expensive. $7 for a cookie and a milk. That's pretty bad. Cost is pointless unless we got money and time. You want to explain that a little bit? Ah, I see. Yeah. Well, for many people, yeah, I will be fired. Yeah, so that's the $1 million question, right? You know, how do you have a job or make money in a way where you can go to Thailand and also make money, right? That's the hardest question to figure out as far as living nomadically. It's the $1 million question. And, you know, for many people, they figure it out, you know. It's not easy, but you know, it is possible. But you know, I'm still gonna you know, you could still go there on vacation. So many jobs give you, at least in America, you know, we get like 2 weeks off a year, which isn't really much if you think about it. Like 2 years off a year isn't really that much time. But yeah, actually, the more I think about it, 2 weeks off is really nothing. Like that's why, like, I don't really want to I don't really want to work like a corporate type job in America, because you work the entire year, you get like 2 weeks off, and essentially, like, you know, that's if you don't have to use that time for other stuff, you know. So you're just working nonstop. Yeah, 2 weeks off is pointless. It's nothing, you know. I know the Europeans get more time off. Maybe like, I think the Europeans get maybe like a couple months off or something. But you got to think about it. Most people in America work close to the entire year and also hate their jobs. So I don't really understand why, if you were in that situation, why wouldn't you do anything to get out of it? Even if like it had a negative consequence, because at the end of the day, like if you're already in a bad situation, you might as well take a chance, right? Now, I understand for people who have like kids and families, I think that at that point, your family always comes first and you have to provide for your family. So I'm, you know, I totally understand that. So, you know, usually what I mean, and also this is not a path for everybody. Like not everybody's meant to live abroad, but some people want to do it. So I think if you want to do it, it's worth going for. And basically you have to take some risks and do something on the side, because, you know, unfortunately we live in a world where that runs on money, right? This world runs on money. Everything you see happen in this world is because of money. It's really because of power, right? It's really because of power. But for most people can't have power. Most people can only have money. So many people glorify money, right? And essentially, if you want to live nomadically, you're going to have to figure out a way to be a little more creative with your income, right? Because a lot of jobs are remote, but a lot of those jobs won't allow you to live overseas because they're hybrid, right? They do something like, well, you work remotely, but you had to come in the office 2 days a week. So I feel like they do that to constrain your location. Um, so, um, so yeah. So I mean, like I know some people who have like 9 to 5s who live in Japan, but um, you are right. Yeah, gotcha, dude. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I know some people who have computer engineering jobs that live in overseas and stuff like that. But um, and that's an option, you know. But I think for most people, the best option is going to be to have their own personal brand. So, you know, that's why I advise people who are younger or older, but if you're younger and you're ambitious and you want to travel and stuff like that, I would say to start your own platforms, like start a YouTube channel, start a TikTok and Instagram, and start showing your journey, right? Because eventually years go by, and if you stay consistent, you're gonna be able to build an audience. And once you have an audience, then you can monetize it, you know. Kellic, hey, how you doing? Welcome back. But yeah, so we'll kind of start getting into the cost of Thailand. Sad T 5K made a good point, which was the cost doesn't really matter if you don't have the money and the time, and I agree with him. So the first priority is, you know, you have to have a way to be able to get over there. Oh, I'm good, thanks. I'm glad you're well. So we'll go ahead and start with the cost of your plane ticket to get over to Thailand. And obviously this really depends upon where you're from in the world, right? Like if you're from China or Vietnam or Japan, well, like you're gonna be able to get airfare for like $200 on AirAsia or something like that. But I'm from the continental United States, and for us, usually a one-way flight is going to be somewhere in the range of $500 to $700 or $800 for an economy class ticket. For a round trip, it's going to be looking at around $1,000 to $1,500. I live near Chicago, so we have a really big hub in Chicago. Chicago O'Hare flies to everywhere around the world. So if you live in, you know, near Chicago is a good one. Another good one would be San Francisco. Los Angeles is a good one because those cities on the West Coast do a lot of long hauls to East Asia, right? So, you know, the first thing you have to consider to a trip to Thailand is just the airplane ticket alone, right? Hey, Corny, what's up, dude? Welcome back. So, you know, okay, let's see. Majority of people will not be able to do an traditional path because 2 months leave getting fired. Yeah, so exactly. So most people, you know, they just won't have the time to go to Thailand or Asia or somewhere far away. But, you know, like I said, people get 2 weeks off in America usually. So technically you could do that. Like I've gone to Thailand for like 6 days before and it sucked because you're literally on an airplane half the time. So if you plan on doing that, I would just recommend going to the Caribbean instead for Americans. Go to the Dominican, you know, go to somewhere in South America, go to the Virgin Islands, whatever you want to do for your tropical paradise. Because if you go for 1 week, you're going to get there, you're going to be fighting jet lag, and then by the time you get over your jet lag, it's already going to be time to leave. So it sucks, but you can technically do it if you're like a 9 to 5 American corporate type person. So airfare, let's just say $1,000. So on average, it's going to be $1,000 for a round trip. You know, if you're somewhere from Europe or something like that, it might be a bit cheaper, but that's how much it costs for America in general. So let's talk about your accommodation. So if you get to Thailand and now you have to find somewhere to stay, right? Well, it really depends a lot on where you're staying and how nice of a place you're staying. But I'm just going to give you guys like kind of the average, and then I'll give you kind of the lower amount too. So this is kind of like an economy price, but still going to give you some fun, right? So if you're staying somewhere in Bangkok, it's going to cost more money, right? Because it's the big city. If you want to go somewhere cheap in Thailand, I always recommend people to go to Chiang Mai, because Chiang Mai has a lot of the traditional Thai culture. If you were to ask a Thai person where's their favorite place in Thailand, there's a good chance a lot of them are going to say Chiang Mai. The Thais love Chiang Mai. It has a lot of Thai culture, and it's very cheap. So, sorry, I heard something outside. I got a little distracted, but anyways, so you can get a place in Chiang Mai for $20 a night. $20 a night will get you a place in Chiang Mai. It's not going to be the Ritz-Carlton. It's not even going to be the Marriott, but it's going to be a place that has a bed, maybe a balcony, a shower, and a TV. It's going to have Wi-Fi, and it's going to be clean, and it might have a pool. As far as Bangkok goes, expect to pay a little closer to 1,000 baht, slightly over 1,000 baht to get the basic economy place. So around $30 in Bangkok will get you an entry-level place to stay in a night, an entry-level hotel that, once again, it's going to have everything you need. It's going to have a clean bed, a shower, a TV with Wi-Fi, and maybe a pool for, let's say, 1,000 to 1,500 baht a night. So let's say you stay there for 7 days at that hotel, then that would mean you're paying around, in Bangkok, you're paying around 150 USD a week. And in Chiang Mai, let's say you're paying around, in Chiang Mai, you're probably paying around 100 to 150 US dollars a week. And in Bangkok, you're going to probably be paying a little over $200 a week. Another thing that I'll give you guys some advice on in Thailand, if you stay at local Thai hotels, usually you can go to the front desk and negotiate if you're going to stay there for 1 week or if you're going to stay there for 1 month. So if you're going to stay in Thailand for a month and you want to stay at a hotel, I would recommend going to the front desk. I would recommend just staying there for a couple nights first to see if you like it. And if you like it, then go to the front desk and ask them if they have weekly or monthly rates, and usually they're lower. So let's answer some questions in the chat now. It looks like we have some stuff coming up. What's up, Corn? I hope you're good, dude. Thanks for coming back. 2 weeks off, 2 weeks millionaire. Point of budget is pointless. There are millions channel about cost of living in Thailand. Everyone knows all we need is $100 a day and we are good. We should discuss about careers and business that can allow us to stay long term. Well, respectfully, if you don't like this video, you can go watch the thousands that you're discussing, and you can come back another time. This is my channel, and I'm going to decide what I want to talk about. So that's what we're going to do today. Corny Maggot, I'm not feeling very talkative. Been kind of depressed recently. Hey, dude, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I've kind of been in that mood a little bit, too. My sleep hours have been kind of messed up lately. So my recommendation, bro, is to, I don't know where you live in the world, but try to get outside a little bit, get some sunlight, and if you can, bro, you can always come and watch my live streams. I'm always here to talk and stuff like that. And if you can, bro, if you have a friend you trust, or if you have, I don't know if you have any brothers or sisters, or maybe you have a friend, go talk to them. I know, dude, sometimes it's easy to get sad and depressed. And I just want you to know, dude, I'm here for you. So if you want to always pop it in the chat, dude, you know, I'll be here. All right, let's what Sad. Let's say Sad said, sorry, I sound rude, but just giving constructive ideas. Well, I appreciate that, and definitely in another video, I will discuss careers and business. But for today, I wanted to talk about the cost of Thailand. So, you know, there are a lot of different videos about it. And, you know, I agree with you. But for today, we're going to talk about costs. So that's what's going to happen today. Tom says, I love you, bro. Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Well, my siblings were ripped away from me at age of 5. I'm sorry, dude. I had 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Man, dude, that's tough, man. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Hey, dude, stay strong, man. If you need a friend, I'm here, bro. And yeah, dude, I'm here for you, man. Yeah, let's move to Thailand, bro. Okay, dude, let's do it. Today, yeah, we're talking about the cost in Thailand today and stuff like that. So that's what's kind of going on today. So what were we at? Oh, some other advice I have for you guys as far as saving some money. And I don't hear a lot of people talking about this on YouTube, but when you hear people saying they're going to go to Thailand, you hear a lot of people online saying, you know, get an apartment, do Airbnb, find a rental, and that can be a good strategy. But a lot of people don't talk about just getting a hotel for a month, because typically people say, well, the hotel is more expensive. But you have to factor some variables in. If you get a hotel, first of all, they're cleaning your room every single day. So you don't have to pay for a maid and you don't have to clean. So that's a perk, right? The second thing is most hotels have breakfast. So if you think about it, the cost of breakfast, let's say, you know, maybe like, let's just say like $5 US. For 30 days, that's saving you $150, right? So, you know, just getting a hotel, you don't have to worry about all these other things. And of course, with the hotel, the other perk about the hotel is, let's say that you get there and you don't like it. Well, you could just move to a different hotel. The problem with getting an apartment is once you get there, you're stuck. You can't leave. So, you know, I had it one time where I rented out this apartment in Jomtien, and basically what happened is I got there and it looked beautiful. Online, the pictures look stunning. But I get in my apartment building and they just got done painting it. And it smelled so bad. I don't know if you guys know or like this or like hate the smell of paint, but for me, it gives me a huge headache. So I walked in there and I'm like, dude, I can't do this. Like the paint smells so bad. And so I literally decided like, yeah, I'm not gonna stay here. It was that bad. And so I like called the landlord, and thankfully she was really nice and she gave me my money back. But you know, you don't know, they might not give you your money back. So I advise people who want to go to Thailand for 1 month or 2 months to just get a hotel, you know, just get a serviced hotel. And even if it is a little more expensive, just knowing that you have a concierge downstairs that'll take care of you, you have maids, you have food, you know, usually they're in the city center. I just always think they're a bit of a better idea than renting an apartment, you know. All right, let's see what else we got. I don't want to travel to very many places, but going to Thailand would be cool. Yeah, dude, for sure, man. No, I totally understand that. I don't know, but it smells kind of refreshing. Then I get tired of it. Yeah, no, like, I think a little bit of paint is okay, but I mean, it was like really strong. Like, imagine if the entire room was painted like a fresh white coat of paint. That's kind of how it smelled. So, you know, I didn't want to stay there. So in Thailand, they use an app called Line. It's like WhatsApp kind of, but I like contacted the landlord online and I said, hey, look, like the place is nice and everything, but it reeks of paint. And she's like, she was like, what? It smells like paint. I'm like, yeah, like, you want to come here? This was like actually the property manager. So she's like, yeah, I'll come. So the property manager came to the apartment, and she came in and she's like, this place smells so bad. She's like, you can't live here. I'm going to get your money back. So, thankfully the Thais are really nice, and, most Thais are good people. So they'll help you out. All right, Courtney says, I mainly just want to go over to Europe, then move to Des Moines. Cool. I've never been to Des Moines. Is Des Moines nice? I live in Illinois, so I'm kind of close to that. But yeah, Europe would be cool too. I haven't really explored Europe, but I think it would be cool to go take the trains in Europe and check out a bunch of places. Okay, yeah, I'll have to go to Des Moines sometime. What college is in Des Moines? Is Iowa State in Des Moines? I always forget. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah. So that's my little spiel on why you should stay in a hotel rather than renting an apartment. And the other thing with the apartments is usually in Thailand, you do 2-month deposits. So let's say a place is 20,000 baht. Well, it's going to cost 60,000 baht up front. That's how most places work. And so 60,000 baht is $2,000, right? So it's quite expensive to, get an apartment. Now, of course, like, you're almost guaranteed to get that deposit money back, but you never know. So, with a hotel, there's no deposits. There's none of this figuring out if the place is a scam or not. So I always recommend when you go travel somewhere, don't book a hotel for like 2 weeks. Book it for a day or two. And then go there, and if it sucks, then you can just leave, right? But if you go there and you like it, then you could just go downstairs to the concierge and extend your stay. So that's my insight from my experiences. So let's see here. 1990s haircut. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's just how the hair is looking today. My hair is kind of different every day, but corny rat. You can get easily 7,000 baht month rental, only 1 month advance. Okay, Sat, you seem to like to argue with everything I say, man. So I used 20,000 baht as an example. So certainly you can get a place for 7K, but here's the problem with that, said T5K. Usually 1 month rentals are going to be astronomically more expensive, specifically in Bangkok. Because think about it, if you're only renting for 1 month, there's a lot more risk involved. Basically, what a landlord wants is for you to sign as long as a lease that you possibly can. So in America, go try to find a 1 month lease in America. It's almost impossible. In America, typically you're going to see 1 year, and you might be able to find 6 months. This is how it works in most places around the world. Now, you're a little bit right, because I have rented a place for 1 month in Thailand. It's difficult, and it cost me over 20,000 baht. But to go find a place for 7,000 baht for a 1 month rental in Thailand, I want you to, the next time you go to Thailand, if you ever go, I want you to try to do that and let me know in the chat how that works out. Because it's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but dude, I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of risk involved for getting a 1 month rental for 7,000 baht. Because of what I just explained, there's just so much risk. And obviously, these landlords who are quite wealthy in Thailand, a lot of them are European, rich Thais, Chinese. They have the money to sit around and wait for a better tenant, right? So that's my spiel about the entire short-term rental situation. So let's move on from that. So let's say that for food in Thailand, you're going to spend around 500 baht a day. So that's kind of on average. You could spend more than that. You could spend less than that. But that's around 15K baht a month. So let's say that's around $500. So you have $500 there. You have $1,000 for your plane ticket. And you have around, let's say, 500 to 600 for your rent. So let's say we're at around $2,200 in total. Now, let's just say other random necessities. We'll add another 300 for that. So now we're at 2,500. And then everything after 2,500 is just based upon how much stuff you want to do in Thailand. I have people almost every day on my live chats ask me how much money to bring to Thailand. And really the answer depends on you, right? So 2,500 is kind of in the entry level per month as far as visiting there. You can do it. But if you want to go do a bunch of different things, I mean, you can add a lot of thousands of dollars onto that. So let's see what we got in the chat. All right. Let's see. Why you want to live in Bangkok? That's why it costed you too much. Well, I mean, Bangkok's the most popular destination in Thailand. So I like Bangkok. That's the reason why I want to go to Bangkok. Let's see what else here. I'm a div. Have a great night. I'll probably see you again. Keep up the good work. Hey, thanks, Courtney. I hope you have a better night, man. And I appreciate you coming in the chat. You're always welcome around here, man. Okay, so yeah, guys. So for traveling to Thailand, 2,500 is kind of getting you in the door and everything. And everything after that is just based upon how much stuff you really want to do, right? Now, as far as living in Thailand, the cost can be even cheaper, right? Because there's always that first term fees. You know, you're paying for the security deposit. You're paying for that flight. You're trying to find a place to stay, so maybe you're in the hotel for a while. But once you get sophisticated in Thailand, you have a visa, then if you want to, you can really drop that price down a lot, right? And like Sad T5K was saying, at that point, then I would say that you would be able to find a place for 7,000 Thai baht or in that range if you want to. Now, like, that's not going to get you the nicest places with a lot of amenities. Maybe if you're up in Chiang Mai, you can get a pretty good place with that. But in Bangkok, and also Pattaya and Phuket, south of Thailand, is going to be just as expensive as Thailand. So realistically thinking, you know, most foreigners spend easily over 15,000 baht, you know. And so really one of the other points why I wanted to make this video is to kind of share that Thailand, although it is affordable, it's not really as affordable as maybe it's portrayed online. Like, it's certainly cheaper than America or Europe, but not really by that much. Unless if you're living like a Thai, right? But if you're trying to have your American lifestyle in Thailand, you're not really gonna save that much money. You're gonna, like, unless if you're really balling out, right? Like, if you're staying in like luxury high rises, it might cost $2,000 in Thailand, where that might cost $10,000 in New York City. But the majority of people in America, you know, they're just living kind of average type lives as far as their income and where they're living. So, you know, as far as Thailand, it's still going to be in that 3,000 USD range, and you can live in most like mid-major cities in the US on that income. So that's another point I wanted to bring up, which is why I have always been advising people with less income to decide to not go to Thailand and to go to some of the neighboring countries to Thailand, because you could still get that ultra cheap lifestyle of living there. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have for today as far as the cost of Thailand and stuff like that. Probably not going to do a super long live today, because I need to fix my sleep schedule and stuff like that. So yeah, is there any questions about any of that stuff? And once again, the price is so dependent on your lifestyle. It's so dependent on, because you know, you could go eat street food for 30 baht, you know. All right, guys. Well, if that's it, I'm gonna end this live stream. It's just a short one today, but I appreciate you guys watching. Looks like we have one. But people go to Thailand not just for cost of living, but it ensures men can get easygoing, chill girlfriends. Yeah, no, that is true. I agree with you. That is definitely true. A lot of guys go to Thailand for dating. I mean, a lot of guys go to different countries for dating to begin with, right? That's probably the main, I would say that is the main reason why you see men traveling outside of the United States. It's because they're looking for women, okay? So that is true. I would have to agree that, you know, it's not so much about the cost. It's, you know, it's about the culture. You know, that definitely has an impact. But, you know, if you can't afford to go somewhere, you can't afford to go somewhere. So at the end of the day and everything, what you're going to be able to do in this world is dependent on how much money you have. If you don't have enough money to get a plane ticket, it doesn't matter if there's better women on the other side of the world. You're not going to be able to go see them anyways. And if you don't have enough money to be able to sustain, you know, a lifestyle in that country, then you're going to have to be able to come home. So I will make some videos. What did you say? You said this a while ago, Sad. Make a video about business and stuff like that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a video, and what I might do is, I really want to add some of my friends onto the live stream that have who are influencers and who have active online income, because I know a lot of people are interested in doing that. Like, there's, you know, people who want to figure out how to work online, and I know people who I can bring onto the channel who have actually done that. I think a lot of people think that it's impossible to make money online. A lot of people think that. And I will say, like, it's very hard to make money online, but I think if I bring some people on the channel that have made a lot of money online, and I can give them some time to explain how they've done that, then it might inspire some of my viewers to consider making money online, right? That's great. It's a great topic to discuss. It can blow up your channel. Yeah, we're gonna. So, Sad, you want to learn about talking about money online? Who else? Does anybody else want me to make a video about that? Does anybody else want me to bring some people on the channel who make money online? Because I'll do that. I'll do that for you guys. Because I got a lot of guys I can hit up. Because, you know, networking around Thailand, the other good thing about going to Thailand is that your networking circle is phenomenal, right? Because think about it, like if you're in Thailand, the only other Western people that are there are people who have money, right? Because you have to have money to stay in Thailand. That's the thing. Like, it's kind of a lie that Thailand's for people who are poor, right? That's a complete lie because you have to have sustainable income to stay in Thailand. So the network, if you're good at networking, which is why it's really good to be good at communications, right? If you're good at networking, you can meet a lot of connections in Thailand who can probably give you an edge, you know, given that you have good communication skills and that and stuff like that. Not just online, IU can discuss about starting business in Thailand or in neighboring countries. Okay. In previous live, you said you went to school in Thailand. Yep. Okay. Trying to figure out what you're meaning. You can discuss about starting business. Oh, I remember this conversation. Business in Thailand or neighboring countries. I remember this question. Yeah, we talked about buying products in Thailand and selling them in different countries. I think that's what you're referring to. I have never done that. I was talking about friends I know who are Thai who buy luxury products from Norway and they bring them into Thailand and they sell them there. You have extensive knowledge then. Yeah, I mean, I would say I have a pretty decent amount of knowledge as far as some of these things goes. But yeah, as far as starting a business in Thailand, like a physical business, that's gonna be difficult. That's not gonna be an easy thing to do. It's possible. It's possible to do that. But you're gonna have to have a lot of capital. Most people aren't gonna be able to do it because you're gonna need a lot of money to do it. But you know, I'm sure you guys can find a lot of videos on YouTube about Americans and Australians who go over to Thailand and they start a bar over there or something like that, you know, and sometimes, you know, that can only cost 40,000, 60,000 USD to buy the bar, but then, you know, you're going to have to hire employees, you're going to have the right paperwork and stuff like that. So if you're in that type situation where you have that much capital, it is an option. Okay, how do your Thai classmates make money? Well, I mean, it's different for Thai people, right? Because they have legal rights to work in Thailand and stuff like that. So the majority of Thai people that I know will move to Bangkok, right? And they'll work in the central business district near Sukhumvit Road. They'll work corporate jobs, just like people do in America. I know some of them have gone the entrepreneur route, but so just a variety of different ways that, you know, Thais make money. So, you know, it's easier for Thai people because it's their own country, right? Just like it's easier for me to start a business in America because it's my home country, right? How much they make? Well, it depends. It's just like America, right? Like every job has a different type salary. You know, Thais make maybe 20,000 baht. A lot of them will be in that range. Some will be less, you know. And I know some Thais that make, you know, quite significantly more than that too. The median's in 20,000 baht, okay? As far as Bangkok goes, so 20,000 baht, which, you know, it's not a ton of money. It's a sustainable amount of money. I knew that was coming. I knew I was going to say something about more money and stuff. No one makes 100,000 baht. Well, to make 100,000 baht in Thailand, you're going to have to, for example, if a Thai makes 60,000 baht. If a Thai makes over 60,000 baht, they're most likely in a management. Okay, I knew that was coming. 20K is shit, bro. Well, first of all, I have a question, dude. Where are you from, man? I'm just interested. What country are you from? We'll see if he answers that. But 100K baht is a lot of money for Thais. If a Thai makes 60,000 baht, they're usually in a management to an upper management position. But I mean, you have to understand that the Thais, it's their country and they know how to survive. You know, many Thais know how to get cheaper places. They know how to drive motorbikes, so you know that saves them a lot of money. They have nannies, they have own networks, so it's different. The cards are different for Thais. So sure, you could say 20K isn't a lot for, you know, an American or an Australian, because when where are you from, Sad? I'm interested. But we have Western passport. Okay. I don't that can be our edge. Well, I mean, it's geographical luck isn't in anyone's determination, you know. I wish people got paid. I wish people got paid more. I wish people in poor countries made more money, but that's just, you're from Italy. Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, here's my thing. You're from Italy, so of course Italy has some expensive places, right? And you get paid a lot more money. I'm gonna look this up right now. So I believe Italians make around 40 to 45,000 USD a year. Let's look it up. Italy median income. Let's see what it is. Yeah, well, even less, right? 30 to 35,000 euros a year. Now let's look up Italian average rent. All right, so the average Italian rent is 800 euros a year. So if you make 30,000 euros a year, that means that you make a little over 2,000 euros a month. And with your taxes, it's far less than that. So if the average rent is 800 euros per year and the income is 2,000 a month, that means that Italians aren't any better well off than a Thai. See, you have to look at it from the holistic perspective. You can say that 20,000 Thai baht is not good, but you can rent a place in Thailand for 1,500 baht a month. And you might think I'm lying, but many Thais and most Thais do. Okay. You can have mortgage and share it with your partner. Well, certainly you can, but you can do that in Thailand as well. What I'm trying to say to you is, you asked me about my Thai classmates, and once again, I'm not trying to get offensive. I'm just trying to help you look at things from a logical perspective. You can't compare oranges to apples, right? They're two separate different things. So trying to compare a Thai to someone from the EU or from the United States, it's just not compatible, right? But it's not to say that we have it any better, right? We have our own problems in ourselves in the West. So Thais, I mean, look, there's Thais that make over 100,000 baht, to answer your question. There are. I mean, there certainly are, but it's you know, that would be like saying an Italian that makes over 200,000 euros a year, right? Like, it exists, but what percentage of Italians make that much, right? Not that many. So yeah, I'm just trying to kind of give you the realistic picture of kind of what's going on and stuff. But yeah, so, you know, ultimately, cool. Yeah, no, yeah, dude, I'm glad you understand. I mean, look, dude, I agree with you. I know if you're from Italy, you have a really good passport. Your passport's better than mine, you know? I think Italy has a better passport than America. So you can go to many, many different places. And, you know, if you're someone who has a lot of money, all All right, let's see. I don't take advice from kids. You haven't lived through any grief. All right, well then you don't have to watch this video. There's 100 other people talking about this. But yeah, dude, you got an you have an EU passport. You can travel everywhere in the world. And so Thailand can be a good option if you have a lot of money. But then again, if you have a lot of money, you have a lot of options, right? So you have to weigh all these things into comparison. Crap, they told me passive income, I'm screwed. What exactly are you talking about? Crap, they told me passive income, I'm screwed? What exactly does that mean? But we can start business in Thailand too, right? That's legal. So as far as starting a business in Thailand, you can do that, but there's a lot of paperwork involved in that, right? And usually what I suggest to people who want to start a business in Southeast Asia is Thailand has a very confusing bureaucracy. So I always suggest people to start a business in Cambodia. Out of Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand, if you're going to actually start a physical business, I would suggest Cambodia. Now, if you have an online business, then Thailand is going to be your most suitable option with the destination travel visa, right? Excuse me, the destination Thailand visa. So that's my opinion. But like I said, dude, I knew people back in Pattaya from America who had, sandwich shops and stuff like that. So it's possible. But yeah, dude, that's just my opinion. So it's a joke about not having disposable income. Oh, gotcha, dude. Cambodia can be good too. Yeah, dude, I think Cambodia is really overlooked, man. I think it's really, really overlooked, dude. And the thing about Cambodia is, you got Phnom Penh there on the Mekong River, and there's the dark side of Phnom Penh, right? The side across the river near the palace, and on that other side of the river, there's a lot of cheap land. It's incredible how cheap land is in Cambodia. And, if you've ever been to Phnom Penh, you know that it's developing very, very, very quickly. You know a city's developing when you see cranes everywhere, right? And that's how Phnom Penh looks, You see a lot of cranes, for every one crane you see in Bangkok, you'll see like 4 in Phnom Penh. So, of course, Thailand's already hit its industrial boom, right? That's why things are expensive. That's why everyone and their brothers and sisters are there. But Cambodia's Vietnam's the next one coming, right? It's already kind of there, but Cambodia's next in line. So, it's at least like the way that I think, it's better to be the first one at the party, All right, guys, anything else? If not, I'm going to go to bed. Yeah, dude, no, exactly, Sad. Like, it's just like everything else in life. The sooner you can be there, the better it's going to be for you, Do any of your classmates make 100,000? Yes, they do. Yeah, so some people do, right? Just like some of my class, just like some people my age in America make, you know, $200,000 a year. So there are. It's not the majority, but some do. Through business, yes. And that's why I'm always saying, like, if you're trying to make a lot of money, then you have to have a business. There's no other way. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter if you're Thai, if you're American, if you're European. If you're trying to earn that top couple percentage of income, the only way you're going to be able to do that is through starting your own business. Now, if you're committed to time and you're frugal and you invest, you can become rich with an income stream from employment, right? But the sacrifice is your time, right? So if you want to go down this route in America where you play in the system, you get a job, you invest in the 401k, maybe a pension system, you could still be rich. You can be rich. That's the path to prosperity in America. It still exists. You could still do it. But the thing you sacrifice is your time, and time is finite. So you have to ask yourself, as an American, is your money worth more, or is your time worth more? And really what it is your effort. Is your effort worth more, or your time? Okay, through some business. Yeah, so through a business. What business in Thailand? So I know some people in Thailand who has a physical business, such as merchandise. Okay, so luxury merchandise, that's a big one for Thailand. And you being Italian, that might be a good option for you, dude. That might be a good option for you to sell luxury merchandise in Bangkok. So, and then I know other ones that have online businesses. So, Thais like social media a lot. IG is huge in Thailand. TikTok is huge. I know a lot of Thais that make a lot of money through online, right? So, all right. All right, guys. So I think we're going to cut this live off now. It's been nice hanging out with you guys. Thanks for participating. Have a good night, Sad One or T5K. Have a good night, everyone else. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later.